Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jarhead D3, joined by D3 and Casual today. What's up, guys?
What's up,
Your boy
Fitz?
Jim Mint.
What's that?
I thought that's like the music Jim Mint always plays. So I said, it's your boy Jim Mint.
He probably does.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
Not too bad. I finally was able to get in my room and clean up a little bit and get rid of boxes and some stuff. So I'm making room for a couple big things right now. So
Okay. Yeah, I already know. Oh man, I'm eager for when I get to the day where I start setting mine up. But
so I see a couple of new things behind you.
yeah, man. Yeah, got some ex-ladies in, man. Some bad ones. Got that Storm up there and that custom Domino.
How you liking them so far?
Oh man, they're both amazing, man. Just the Storm is even more impressive than I thought it would be, man. So,
I mean, the Storm's not custom, so I'll give you. I'll let it slide though.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by the portrait and the base. Everything on it is amazing, man. It came with a few bricks in the hair, but
that's pretty common though.
Yeah, not really stressing that. But yeah, and then that Domino is just I love them both, man.
What about you, Casual? How's your day been going? What you been up to?
It is. I get my pump in, so I gotta drink my protein.
Yeah, working out the biceps.
Work on the bicep. No, I'm working on my back now, but yeah, biceps. But whatever. I've been cleaning up this room a lot, and I'm gonna change up the lighting to some spotlights. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. I think I did spotlights with the quarter scale stuff. It didn't look right to me, so I'm gonna do it with the 1/3 stuff.
Kind of like with the bars, or you're just gonna hang them from the wall.
So they're called jewelry spotlights, so like really tiny ones that you know how Alan Kiefer has his set up? Like he has a bunch of spotlights.
So you're gonna put them pointing up or
pointing right down to like their portrait and other like body parts, like Superman. I'm gonna practice with Superman.
What other body parts?
the biceps and the
the guns.
Yeah, I want to play around with lighting some more. Like I love the setup, like it's badass, I think. But adding those spotlights, I think it's gonna change it up a little bit.
Yeah, those spotlights will definitely elevate the display a lot.
Yeah, I'm starting to dig spotlights a lot more these days. The more I see them on people's collections.
Yeah, I think they're really good for large pieces, or individual pieces you want to highlight.
Got you. So you guys want to say hi to the chat real fast?
Yeah. Let's say what's up. We got here with us today. Jonas Overman, what's up, bro?
Hey man, what's up? Jose. Late nights in house. Sorry,
what's up, late?
Trey. Man, that's probably a hard one to find at this point.
It actually pops up pretty often on the Basso trade groups. Not pretty often, but often enough.
The LL one? I just seen one the other day, but it wasn't LL.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, the LL one, probably once every few weeks between that, the Cyclops and the Iceman. I think the Iceman might be the one that goes up the least, but yeah, I definitely see the Rogue and the Cyclops pretty often.
Yeah. M-Tel, what's up, man? That's everybody right now. I know we kind of early today with the show, so I know a lot of people were trying to get on, but we were going early, so they couldn't make it. So, but real quick, man, I had put that music on the X-Men for the intro. Have you guys seen the show yet, or?
I want to. I haven't yet. I keep hearing good stuff, but you guys can talk about it. I don't mind.
Shit, man, felt like a kid watching that again, man. It was amazing.
Yeah, like it was just like it was back in the day. Like those, you got into it as soon as that the beat dropped of the intro. You're like, man, like zoned in on it and everything, and
Yeah.
did a really great job of like, playing it pretty close to comic book, how it played out in comic books, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I know a lot of times in the older series, it was like, they didn't play it true to the comic books. They kind of went off, but this series seems like it's sticking more to that. Got another guy. What's up, Matt?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
All right, cool. Oh, man, not a whole lot. Just doing some stuff, ripping and running. So,
What are you up to today?
so kind of on a road trip with my oldest daughter. Going to go visit some colleges.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's cool.
I know, right? So it's a good one-on-one time with her and checking out Tulane, LSU, and Rice. Going to be down your neck of the woods in Texas, but I know you're way up north. So,
Well, I'm just in Waco. I'm like in the middle of Texas, basically.
oh, okay. Well, I'll be in Houston later in the week.
Yeah, that's about 3 hours for me.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about it, man. Really.
You know, Matt went to go visit some comic book
visit?
stores. He's making his trip. He's gonna visit those comic book stores. I bet.
You know I am.
Do you every time we go someplace, do you normally visit to go to comic book stores?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what I do is maybe not necessarily comic book stores, but I'll try to find a store that has statues because I really don't. I mean, there's comic book stores in every city,
Yeah.
so it gets a little much. But going to finding ones that have statues, I love checking out, see what they have or see what's going on. But a lot of times they don't have.
There's a few in Houston.
Are there really?
Yeah, there's a few in Houston that have, I forget what the brick something or another. I've been there.
That one's down near Galveston, though, isn't it? Isn't that one down near Galveston, like halfway?
They've got 3 of the same stores, so like 3 or 4.
Gotcha.
In Houston, so they're like there's one store that has like the main stuff though, so you have to figure out which store that is. I don't remember exactly which one it is, but when I was working down in Houston, I went there a few times.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I might have to sneak a peek in one of them.
Yeah. I'll send you if I can find the information. I'll get it to you so that way you know which one I was talking about.
All right, that's cool. And the cool thing is I'm actually driving, so it's like shipping is not a problem.
Load it up.
So you can buy it right then and there.
You know what I mean? Got an SUV, I'm good to go.
That might be a little dangerous.
Yeah.
But we were just talking about the new X-Men show. I don't know if you watched it at all or started watching it.
I have not been blessed with the opportunity to watch it yet. I will. Something that came across my Facebook page, a feed, and it showed a clip of Gladiator when he was from the original one when he came down to the planet.
Yeah, he
That
punched
was pretty cool.
he punched Juggernaut.
Yeah, well, yeah, Juggernaut punched him and he didn't move,
Yeah,
and then he picked Juggernaut and just threw him across the water.
yeah, I remember that episode. Yeah, spoiler for
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah.
The 30-year
Yeah.
spoiler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Gladiator's cool, man.
I pretty much binge watched the first 2 episodes, and it's kind of one of those things that I'm craving the next ones, but I guess they're coming out every week. They're not doing them all at one time, so.
So let me ask you a question though. So again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Is it a prequel or sequel to the previous ones, or is it
pretty
much
it's
the same as the first one?
it picks up right when the last one stopped, basically, like maybe a few months or a year or 2 afterwards, after the last season happened.
Got it. So it's kind of like a continuation, basically.
Yeah, so just continues the story.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, man. There was so many moments in that, man. Cyclops definitely got his just due.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was pretty sick in the first episode.
Yeah, man, he he was badass. Him and Storm, like they just had such a powerful presence. You know?
Jojo
it would
was
be
saying that you look like emo.
No, I lost my
Casual.
emo look. Yeah, you called me that too. You called me the casual.
I
the-
didn't
the
call you
Hulk?
that. I called the
Yeah.
Hulk. The Hulk was emo.
It's all good, man.
I mean,
so it would behoove me to rewatch the first episode or the first
the first season.
the original ones, first season. Yeah, okay. Or the last season of the first ones. I might do that then.
For sure.
So I forgot.
Yeah.
It's been 30 years.
Yeah.
You don't even
now,
have
now, whenever time Steve comes on, I got
Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again. Don't make me change my mind.
I was trying to word it out because you could see my face up top. That's a great clip.
yeah, I can't get enough of that one now. But I don't know if you just want to get into the topic right now, D3.
Yeah, definitely we could do that.
So today's topic is basically we're starting to see a trend in the custom world of statues getting larger, like larger sizes, like you're seeing in the regular statues, basically like 1/3 and life-size busts. I haven't seen a life-size one yet, or well, actually, I guess I have. It was a life-size Iron Man they did a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was a while back. Yeah, what's his face has it? What's that guy with all the? Was it Ronnie Stark or
Mhm.
the guy with all the Iron Man statues? I think he has a custom one.
Mm.
And then that was the only one that I know of that did life size. But it seems like customs are starting to go up towards the 1/3 these days. I don't know if you guys have seen anything or.
The Flash supposedly got announced for 1/3, so I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was canceled for like a good minute, but it jumped to 1/3.
Yeah, they just
I think
needed a bunch of people to get on it. So, what do you think about that one, Steve?
I
Yeah.
like it, man. Like I could compare that to the LBS one, and I was like,
1/3.
but I don't know. It's because I have Prime ones behind me. Like I kind of want like a small dynamic pose, like with the DK3 he has is like cape, moving. The Superman he's floating. The Hawkman, like I kind of want a little bit more, to be honest.
Like
I
a
feel like
museum and a half.
Museum and a half, yeah. Yeah,
This
See,
one right here?
that looks cool.
I still think it would look good in your setup. I mean, he's not running or anything, but it's funny too because everybody else has got motion, like you said, a little bit, but the
Mhm.
Flash is standing still.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Like you said, it'll fit in my collection and
Yeah.
stuff, but like,
I think it'll be just fine. I don't think it's gonna, look bad or anything.
I think this Flash looks really dope.
yeah, we'll see, man. Because like I know Prime 1 had one projected to come out, but like they haven't. There's no news on it.
D3, you're cutting out, man.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. It's not a museum, though, so I mean, if you're looking for a museum,
No, I think he's like a minute behind.
Cut
I'm
out.
cutting out big time.
Yeah.
I think both D3 and I are both choppy. Yeah, I've noticed it too, Jarhead. I don't know what that means though. I mean, I think does that mean more people are collecting 1/3 pieces now, or does it just mean because at first I thought you were talking about like that in between size, like it's not quite a quarter scale, it's a little bigger than a quarter.
Well, yeah, that's
That I've noticed as well too.
yeah, that's we're going to talk about that too because it's also that 1 and 1/3 size too. They've getting that's been around for a little while though.
Right. But yeah, no, I agree with you because I see in a lot of groups, a lot of guys asking for, oh man, can you do this in 1/3? Can you do this in 1/3?
yeah.
And then of course the commissioner asked, well, if I get enough people, we can go ahead and do it. So
Yeah.
um,
I just think the
Yeah.
popularity is spilling over into the custom world of 1/3s. And it wasn't too like I hadn't seen busts either come up, and I'm seeing more of those come up too as well. So
Right.
Well,
I guess it's a good thing, really.
Most of the customs have been quarter scale, but I just noticing an uptick in 1/3, and I just kind of wanted to say something about it and see what people thought, because I know most people collect quarter scale. There's not really that many collectors of 1/3, I don't think.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. But I mean, there's a demand for it. There's enough guys out there.
Yeah, I think there would be more if people knew that you can reliably get customs produced in that scale. Just because it's a rare thing, I think that's why you don't see too many 1/3 custom collectors. Even if more the up in scale, or there could be uncompleted in that scale. So it's like build it and they shall come.
Yeah, but that's kind of I hear what he's saying, but that's kind of the reverse of actually the custom groups. It's more of you shall come, we build it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not because it's just that customs are customs. I mean, you got to have the money up front. You got to pay for it up front. A lot of guys flake out on that. They want to see it and they want to touch it, feel it, get a review on it before they order it. Yeah. So, you got to be able to put your money where your mouth is when it comes to customs. You know what I mean?
I think too, a lot of people came to the groups asking for some of the statues in 3rd, and some of the commissioners were like, "Yeah, we can do that." So if we get enough people to buy into it, basically.
Right. I think that's the thing. Is just
go ahead, man.
You're going in and out, Matt.
Every single time.
Hey, D3, don't put that bad juju on me, man. You put that juju on me, man. Now I'm breaking up now.
I had to push on for somebody else.
But between you and D3 right now, D3's talking, but his mouth is catching up to the words he's saying. He looks like those old Godzilla movies. Godzilla.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, don't do me like that.
He kung fu fighting.
These guys are trying to stream from the mothership.
Yeah. How I sound? I still sound laggy?
No, you're better now.
All right, cool. Matt, you want to finish what you were saying?
No, that was just it. I was just saying the the commissioners are now, putting it out. Guys to do it in 3rd will do it, but that's all.
Yeah. All right. There's also this Wolverine that's being produced in 1/3 and 1/4 scale as well. This is one of the 2 I mentioned. This is a really, really dope Wolverine.
I actually like this Wolverine a lot.
Yeah.
Look at the difference in size, though, man. Like I put some of my quarters next to 1/3. They don't pair well.
Like it's a big jump. It's not just like a little jump at all. It's huge.
Yeah, I can't do it. I tried with like some other pieces just to mix them in, and it doesn't work. It really doesn't. At least for me, like I can't do it.
And the crazy thing is, Wolverine's a small character too. He ain't like, if he was like a Hulk type character, I mean, it'd be a huge difference.
Yeah, unless you have a theme around one specific character, like mixing the 1/4 or 1/3.
Yeah,
it's kind of choppy. But
is there anybody in the chat that's interested in getting?
Yeah, it doesn't go. I mean, you could
1/3 statues in custom 1/3s, because I mean, I would get a Wolverine just because that's my favorite character, but I couldn't think of wanting anything else really. Like I'm not really into 1/3 statues, so.
I was highly anticipating that LBS Thanos, man. I was kind of disappointed when that news broke out about the resolving of the partnership.
Yeah,
but,
there's a custom one though that I have pictures of that that I think is, to me, it's better.
Yeah, That one's been making a lot of noise lately. I don't know. I like the LBS one for some reason, man. That one's got my attention, but hopefully it does come out. But the only 1/3 I've dived into is the LBS Hope, and yeah, that's it. But you know, if a statue is impressive to me enough in a different scale that I don't collect, I definitely will make an exception. You know, so that Hulk, that Thanos, if it does come out, you know, but
Yeah.
I don't necessarily dive deep into 1/3. I think it's cool though about custom starting to do more 1/3 and just venture off into different scales in general. Because it reminds me of the custom anime world. You see anime statues come in all types of scales, from 1/5, 1/6, 1/7, 1/8, 1/4, half scale, full life size, 1/3. I mean, it's just they don't discriminate against any scale, it seems. So that can create a lot of confusion as far as like when you're trying to, you know, build a line of character of certain characters or whatever the case may be, and just kind of keep everything uniform. But to have those options and just so many different scales is amazing as well, you know. So
Yeah, I just see it as the custom rules it's just catching up to the license stuff, you know. 'Cause,
yeah,
you know, for a long time, you know, there wasn't third scales either, but then they came out, and you know, I think now just the custom world's catching up to that trend, I guess. So
yeah, definitely, because you're starting to see, you know, custom. I mean, licensed companies push the line as far as size over the, you know, recent years. You know, with the Maestro and, you know, other large 1/4 pieces.
yeah.
A lot of them coming at XM.
Shoot,
But-
Sideshow right now is like pushing their quarter scale stuff like almost the size of 1/3 anyways, you know, like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
last couple
Yeah.
statues, it seems like
Batman,
they're pushing that envelope, you know.
So, Jarhead, let me ask you a question. All right. So you said you see the custom world catching up to licensed pieces. Do you think it might be the other way around? Do you think licensed pieces are looking at what's going on in the custom world and they're going, we got to step up our game. We got the competition. Or you think licensed pieces might be chasing some customs? Because you and I both know there's some badass customs out there.
It's not that. I'm talking about the size. Innovation is definitely the custom world. That's what, you know. That's the thing
Your
about
bread and
customs is, you know, customs are more innovative than I think than license are, you know, overall. But the size thing is what I think the custom world is catching up to the license with. But you know, like you're saying, there's plenty of cool, you know, innovative statues out there and that are pushing the envelope and doing cool things. And then, you know, it seems like some of the like that Weapon X I have, you know, Sideshows seems like they're catching up to the custom world with their Weapon X whenever they decide to show it. But I was just talking about the size right now. I think the size is customs are catching up to the actual license companies.
Yeah, because you know, I guess these custom companies, they see that bigger home, like, you know.
You're cutting out again, D3.
Damn.
Do
Am
you
I better
think,
now?
yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Do you guys think the factories have anything to do with it? Like maybe the factories that Sideshow uses or Prime One uses goes like, hey man, we got like these molds that do 1/3, and maybe you guys could start using them, you know?
Yeah.
Or give them the idea to customs, going like, hey. Like,
The thing with the factories though, like they use the same factories as most of the places anyways.
mhm.
If they were going to do that, they probably would have started earlier, I would think, with, you know, when the 1/3 craze started happening.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the license companies right now are doing the reverse. You know, like Prime One, they're going quarter scale, and then customs are going up to 1/3. It seems like I said, because we're just now catching up to the license companies. I think. I don't think 1/3 is gonna be around a long time. I mean, I think, you know, it's a niche, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's just they're so big.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Go ahead, man.
100% agree. I agree with you 100%. I think I don't want to call it a fad, but I think it's a niche, and I think it's just there's only a limited amount of guys that are actually going to do 1/3.
Yeah.
And then over time, it's just like you said, the space becomes an issue, and then collectors are going to say, "Well, I want more options, so I'd rather have two. I'd rather have 2 statues instead of 1." So.
And that's nothing against the 1/3 statues. There's plenty of like amazing 1/3 statues out there. It's just a lot of people can't collect them because they don't have the space. Like I would love to have, nothing but 1/3. I just don't have a castle, so I just don't have the space. If I had like Ant's warehouse, I would collect 1/3 for sure. I just don't. So I'd rather, like you said, buy 2 statues instead of 1.
It's tough with license, right? Because their edition sizes were like 200 to 800, while customs could be like up to 50. So
Yeah.
customs have that going on for them too. I think what hurts the whole 1/3 thing for Prime One was just like there was that big up during COVID where everyone was purchasing 1/3, and then when life hit everybody, it was like I can't afford it anymore. The 2 boxes per 1/3 statue is just like not doing it for me anymore. And plus, like I only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 statues. It's already taking up this whole corner, and I have like the double the amount on the other wall.
On the other side, yeah.
Of quarters, and then like there's more statues there. Like
1/3 are more impressive, because they're just a bigger statue. They're of the characters you love or whatever. But you're just not gonna be able to collect as many. Like it's just what it is. So
yeah, but I think it's also good that the custom world's doing it because it's giving collectors more options. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I think is good. That's the other thing with 1/3 is you're kind of limited right now, right? I mean, you only have what are the 2 companies? You got Prime One, LBS.
Yeah, but they're not even doing them as much as they used to. So, I don't know if when was the last thing that they had was 1/3. It was like what Superman versus Batman and like Superman, Doomsday and those
and the Metal Line stuff.
Those are the last ones they've done. All the rest of them have all the new announcements they've done have been quarter scale. So I think they're starting to get away from, for sure, like 1/3.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another Wolverine being produced in 1/3.
Yeah, you're definitely limited.
But, yeah, I mean, there is a gap opening in the 1/3 market, that, customs can go in the field, but I think it's going to be a very slow progression. I don't think it's going to be like all of a sudden gangbusters where, every custom company is offering at least 1/3 project. I think it's definitely going to be a rare occasion, and it's just going to take a few years if it is going to take hold for it to really take hold, because for the custom companies, they definitely got to move carefully and, really, make sure that they are sure about the decisions they make, because, wrong decisions and then all of a sudden you can't keep up with sales and you got to disband the group, so you definitely got to be careful.
Yeah, like you're saying cautious, right? Like of going to that 1/3. But what do you guys think? Like you guys are hinting that you guys are seeing busts like 1/3 and everything. Like Matt mentioned earlier, you think it's gonna be a fad for like customs? Like you think people are gonna be like, it's not for me?
Right now, because there was such a big boom in the 1/3 market, like I think there'll be those certain collectors that want the 1/3s. But I really think that it's going to quickly go back to status quo with the quarter scale stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just math, and business. You're going to sell more quarter scale statues over 1/3 statues. It's just the way it is. You're not selling, more 1/3s in because most people don't collect that scale. So I think eventually the whole thing is going to go back to quarter scale. I I think 1/3 is eventually going to get phased out. So
G Vega had a question. What are 1/3 custom prices looking like? I'm curious about the bottom line for the customs, considering bigger and more materials and maintaining a low ES custom.
did you see how much that that Wolverine was costing D3?
Yeah, that one I was just showing just now was I believe the 1/3 was 1,100 or 1,050.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the difference for the profit margin is a lot of customs aren't really, that's the good thing about customs. They're doing it for the actual collector and the fan. They're not really doing it to make a profit for making a statue. So the markup on the pieces, it's just to cover expenses and costs. Guys, most commissioners aren't really trying to, make a pretty penny on all this stuff. So
Yeah. You don't
also
hear,
a difference.
you don't hear many license companies selling 1/3 statues for 1,100 these days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Right.
So
So they're trying to get them at cost and make sure it gets covered.
and like when I first joined, like we'll start collecting customs like that. That's all you ever heard was customs were too expensive. They're way more expensive.
I know, right?
It's just
Yeah.
funny to me. Like if you look at comparatively to the 1/3s, I mean they're like almost half the price, if not more. So
I think the thing was with customs, a lot of guys were looking at them in the aftermarket
yeah,
when they're sold out. You know what I mean? And you can't get them, and that's the reason why their value just jumped up.
that was the only
So-
way. That was the only way they can get a hold of them too.
Exactly.
Yeah, but once you get in the groups and you can actually get in on a PO at retail, most cases it's going to be cheaper. But I mean, a lot of
Right.
Cypher's asking, do you think the market once established, it'll be 1/3 to go back up? I don't. I think that it's market. It's sales. They're selling more quarter scale statues. I guarantee it versus 1/3 scale statues. So I don't know if the market's going to go back up or not. I doubt it.
Well, that's a good question, Slifer, but I think it's also the fact of when the market does come back, I don't think guys are still going to run out to jump in it. They're going to want to take a breather for a little bit to recoup. And I think the quarter scales will level it out some. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, well, look how expensive the 1/3s are in like the prime ones and stuff like that. I mean, anywhere up above 2,000, it seems like the majority of them. So,
You know what's going to be interesting, and I've thought about this a lot, was when Prime One finally does do their Superman Hush in quarter scale, I wonder what the price is going to be. It's one of those things to where is Prime One going to say, we know the popularity of this statue. Are they going to have the price high because it's a popular statue and they know it's going to move? Or are they going to use it in comparison to some of their other quarter scale pieces and put it out in a fair range of other quarter scales?
I think it would be smart if they tried to do something just right down the middle of both of those, because collectors know the value of the piece of the 1/3 version. So, and we know Prime One is their business. They're gonna try to make as much money as they can, as we've seen from past tactics from them. So, we'd be naive to think that they're just gonna lean towards making it as fair as possible for us. But I don't think they're gonna lean all the way into jacking up the price as high as they possibly could. So, hopefully, somewhere in the middle.
I got some good examples for you guys. So I'm on the Prime One website. The Poison Ivy Throne one is $1,400. That's quarter scale. The Batman vs. Batman Who Laughs is $1,500. That's quarter scale. The Batman vs. Killer Croc is $1,600. That's a quarter scale. Darkseid on Throne is $1,900. That's quarter scale. With like the prices going up like this, especially from Prime One, like
I just think that's Prime One though, because they've come down from 1/3 to quarter scale, but they brought those prices to the quarter scale, because
So Steve, I've got a question since you're on the site. What was the original price of Superman Hush in 3rd scale? And what's a 3rd scale right now? What's its 3rd scale that they're doing right now? What's the price for that?
So original OG price for Superman was $1,000. I'm looking at a 1/3 Merciless Red version. It's like the thing from Dark Knight Metal. $1,400. Poison Ivy 1/3 scale is $1,350. Let's see some other ones.
Whoa. So the third scales now are costing the same as the quarter scales from Prime One?
Yeah.
But like Jarhead said, it's like Prime One though.
Yeah, all they did was go from 1/3 to quarter scale, but they brought those prices down to the quarter scale.
Mhm.
So
Man,
they're still making that money. They're just making smaller statues.
that's interesting. So
Prime One.
I don't know. That's a weird business practice. You know, you would think that they would be
Yeah.
cheaper.
exactly. That's the reason why I asked that question.
Yeah. But that's just Prime One, though. I mean, Cypher brings up a good point. You know, he says PCS and LBS is still doing 1/3, even Queen now with the Hulk. But look at those prices too. You know, like the economy isn't that great right now. I don't think if they sold the same statues at quarter scale, I think they would get way more sales.
Yeah.
What
At that
do you guys
price?
think? No, at quarter scale price.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather sell 1,000 hamburgers, for $2 versus, 20 hamburgers for 15. You know what I mean?
That's such an old man example right there. I heard that back in my day. Too. No,
It's called wisdom, Steve. Wisdom.
Yeah. I'm looking at the PCS website. So I am currently looking at the Daredevil from PCS.
Wait a minute. Steve just called me old.
I'm old too. I told you.
You just not catched on that.
I'm old, man. It takes a minute to catch up.
What's your guys? Yeah, you guys. I don't know if you guys remember the price, but what's
The Daredevil?
your, on the Daredevil? Yeah.
I would think between 13 and 14.
Mm-hmm. D3. How about you?
I think maybe around 15.
And Matt, 1/3 Daredevil, Matt. From
That's the
PCS.
one where he's jumping out the window
Yeah.
from PCS.
Yep.
Yeah, I got 14.
14. It's $1,500. So price is
Okay.
still up there. It's just like it's 1/3, right? But like
Yeah.
that's 1,500 is the PCS price, right? Like when you pre-order.
Yeah.
MSRP on this guy, like what it's going to be, like when people don't order this thing. Let me double check really quick. That's sorry. Let's see. Because MSRP is the number I look at too. Like that's a great pre-order price, but like the real price when it comes out,
Yeah.
they
They're doing
usually-
that a lot lately. I don't know if you noticed that, but there's all these companies doing that pre-order pricing. You
Yeah.
know, like pre-order. I don't know what you call it, but it's like, limited time. If you order between this window and this window, it's cheaper. XM has been doing it. I guess now PCS is doing it. Even customs.
Queen.
I've got some slides later on of custom groups doing the same thing. So
Yeah.
I get it. It's a great incentive. Like you get like what 15% off if you pre-order or something like that, or 5% off. I don't know what it is, but like I think it's a great incentive. But yeah, the prices for 1/3 are I don't know.
Yeah, but it also gives them the capital to get it going. You know what I mean?
Yep.
do you think that kind of sales tactic works?
Yeah.
I think it does if they were to market it better. Like it's just like I have to go to their website for that price. Like when's the last time you've been to like a company's website? I usually go on Facebook to look up stuff, or I find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's cool that the website does show it, but like I don't think there's many collectors out there that go to the website to get that price or see
So
that
something I've seen that seems to be working, Sideshow with that new like limited time plaque thing that they had. That seems to got more buzz than hey, if you buy this, it's cheaper. That little plaque thing for a limited time seemed like it was got more people interested in it. You know, hurry up and buy the statue because they want that little plaque. Even though people are like, it's a stupid thing, but people are still getting it because of that plaque.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't want to miss out on it. It's the same price.
Yeah, FOMO is kicking in for a lot of people on missing that little piece. So it's a good.
Well,
it's
it's the thing that
definitely-
makes it. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I think it's the thing on the piece that makes it unique or special, right? I mean, that appeals to a lot of collectors. Like, remember Queen Studios did that with Wonder Woman, with the sword and the shield. You know, if you order this certain amount within a certain time, not only you did get a discount, you also get, you know, the switch outs or something special. You know what I mean?
It's another incentive, I think. Like, I think like for people that are really interested into that, like it's another plus for them because they're already getting the piece already. So,
well, the way the statue community is right now is most people I don't necessarily think the money thing is going to entice them because they know that either they're going to get sideshow seconds or they're going to get it cheaper on the aftermarket when somebody doesn't want it or somebody's going to sell their pre-order. I think having some kind of special thing that you can't get later is what will entice people right now because of what's going on in the economy and you know, with everything that's going on with statues where you can buy them cheaper later on anyways. So I think that that little special thing that you can't get later is going to entice more people.
it would suck like crazy if Sideshow decide to give that exclusive later on. Like if they go like, oh, you know what, you didn't get it during the time frame, but we'll offer it to everybody.
Yeah, that would be stupid of them, I think.
Yeah.
Well, they may have some. They may have extras.
Yeah, because there's certain statues out there too that they're not doing like an EX of, but they got a switch out like the Ghost Rider. Yeah, if that was a time exclusive that Daniel Bell had with him transforming, I think people would be on that statue because they want the special, head sculpt. If they would have made that timed, but they didn't. So I think that's why a lot of people are kind of still wishy-washy about it. So, but I think that's something companies need to look at. I think right now if they did that, it would sell better than 15% off, 10% off, because people are going to get that later on anyways on the aftermarket or later down the road. So
yeah, yep.
No, just my 2 cents.
All right. Well, pretty much go back to what we were talking about as far as customs getting larger. It's definitely a reality that's here right now, and it looks like the snowball effect is occurring with it, and over time, it's just going to have more and more options. So.
Yeah. There is one size though that customs has that license company doesn't have, and I've seen it in a couple of different groups. Not every group does it, but it's that the 1 1/3. License companies don't have that size, but customs do. Like that was his special thing, with that group. Anyways, he was being weird or wanted to be standoutish about his statue, so he made him a different size.
He started with LL with the X-Men versus Sentinel line, and even some of the other pieces as well, like that standalone museum Magneto.
They're bigger.
They're 1 in 3.5. There's a few of their pieces. Even I think the Sabretooth might be a 1 in 3.5.
Yeah, it's bigger than 1/4 for sure.
Yeah.
So I do think that's something that the license companies don't have is that size. So it's like that 1/4 and 1/3.
It's cool, but sometimes it throws things off. There's some of them where you can't really it's just an awkward middle ground where they look out of place for 1/4 and look out of place for 1/3. And then there's others where it might actually work for the character. I try to stick to those if I do go that route of those 1 over 3.5 statues. I do think that the size works for Sabretooth. Especially
like the Domino you have back there. She's 1 1/3, right?
1 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's bigger than Beast is.
Yeah. But she is elevated. Like the box that she's on is sitting a little high. It's sitting a little higher than Beast, if you can see. And then also look at it in terms of like, she has these high heels on in the statue as well. So that's another way I can justify it as well. And she's more forward as well. She's the most forward statue behind me. So that kind of throws it off a little bit and gives her a little bit more height. But overall, she fits pretty well. Like, I was, putting her up against some of the other pieces, and it's not too far off with her. The statue in whole, looks bigger because especially with the guns pointed up like that. And then, she has the heels on, but it's not, when I get it in my display and put her where I want to put her, like I plan to actually have her, in the foreground. That way, it gives a reason why she may appear bigger, like especially since she's walking forward. So, there's little tricks you can play with just to, kind of offset that difference in size if it's not too extreme,
Spoken
You
like a
also know-
photographer right there, boy.
Yeah, I mean, I thought long and hard about it before, bro. But we also have that, we got that there's a Sentinel in the works, a custom Sentinel in the works that's, it's quarter scale, but it's going to be 42 inches. So regardless of scale, 42 inches is a huge statue. I mean, that's more than half of most people's height. So, that's just another example of how customs are going large. Even if it's not necessarily a larger scale, just the characters, how they represent them. And then there's also a Galactus in the works right now that's the same height, 42 or 43 inches. So, customs are taking that leap when it comes to these bigger characters and representing them correctly, or at least as close to correctly in 1/4 scale as they can. So I think that's another big thing going on. And then we also know about those, those Batman rogues from that from your favorite group, Jarhead, especially the Clayface. I think the Clayface,
they're huge.
30 centimeters tall. So I mean, yeah, they're going, and these are considered 1/4 pieces. So I mean, we've kind of figured out how they're working that out. But these are just large characters in general. So typically the license companies stay away from putting the accurate size on larger characters. As we've seen with the Sideshows, 2 Galactuses. The first one was 32 inches, but even then, a lot of people would argue that that's too small to accurately represent Galactus in 1/4. And then people definitely didn't like the fact that they scaled down their most recent Galactus to 26 inches, even though it's a great statue. But there's just this desire from collectors to at least see some size from the characters that they know have the size, even if it's not necessarily ever across the board, but just from those larger format characters, they want to see that size represented somehow. Customs are starting to, answer the call.
I mean, there's always been like huge customs out there. I mean, that majority of the stuff that like those Sentinel pieces and stuff like that, like you were talking about, all those pieces are massive compared to like a normal quarter scale statue. So customs have always kind of pushed that limit of size, I think. And licensed companies are more of the toned down, necessarily like sideshows. Sideshows like they keep their stuff small, it seems like, which a lot of people like. That's all they want is a smaller statue. They just want representation of that character. They don't need something massive, but I think it's good either way.
To be honest, the first large scale customs I saw were those, X-Men vs. Sentinel pieces. I'm young in the collecting game, so I don't really have that much reference for any time before that. Even that was before my time, to be honest. I think they got released in 2019.
Yeah, 2018, 2019. It seems like that era of collecting was like, I don't want to say golden era, but there was a lot of great stuff that came out in that time frame. If we look at all the older XM pieces and the Prime 1 stuff, like Prime 1 Hush, All those great statues all came out kind of like in that time frame. Even in the custom world, customs had a lot of great statues that came out around that time.
Definitely.
The Wolverine versus Wendigo, that whole line, that Weapon X that came out, the Sentinel pieces like you were talking about. It just seems like that whole era was kind of like came out with bangers,
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm talking about that video that you do.
Yeah.
I know bangers.
That's
No
not
bangers.
a banger.
A lot of pieces were from one group too. I think LL. I don't want to say single-handedly, but around that time they elevated the custom world. They did a rising tide raises all ships. It was kind of like that, because everybody started following behind them and getting bigger, better, more creative, and just started increasing their boundaries and increasing their limits. So, credit to LL for kind of, at least from my perspective, I'm just talking from what I know, but I do think they kind of helped elevate the custom world a lot with the risk and creativity that they took a chance on back then. So,
but I think what else helped elevate the custom world was the quality. And a lot of guys started seeing the good quality of these pieces coming out and the way they look with the concept design, the quality, the whole nine. It's like, hey, I might as well just get a custom piece because I'm not afraid of them being, cheap quality or not looking the way it came out. And there was a run, Jarhead, you said that error. I'm like, that was like, just a couple of years ago for me. But there was also a time in that era when it was dicey because you had some stuff coming out that just didn't, it came out, it looked like a custom piece. Like, man, that doesn't look, this doesn't look like what you said it was going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think the quality now, and I think, good commissioners now, I think are making a huge difference.
I think customs has definitely helped push the license companies to do better too, because I think innovation, no matter what, even like in the custom groups, in the license group, I think it's all innovation because they see, these big license companies, they're still looking at customs, they still see them out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like you guys said, or somebody said Daniel Bell started off with customs, so
Yeah.
they're definitely in that world. They're reaching out to those guys.
So what gets me is look at Sideshow doing fastball special. I'm like, okay, there was a custom already done. Matter of fact, I think it was two, wasn't there? Wasn't there two? There's two of them out there.
I just know about the one where he's on they're on the Sentinel hand.
Yeah, there's another one too.
Yeah, there's two. There's already two customs fastball specials that are already out, and then Sideshow comes up with theirs. You know what I mean? So it's like, are they going to do a Wolverine Omega Red?
They might.
That'd be interesting.
They're doing a Weapon X, so
Time to
Yeah.
throw away those customs. Okay.
I don't know about all that. The OG is the OG.
yeah. What's up, Danny? Yeah, but like I was saying though, it's like they definitely see these pieces and they're pushing, I think, the creativity. And like you said, Casual, like Daniel Bell came from the custom size. Look at LBS. He was a commissioner before he became licensed. So I definitely think that customs still push the license companies, whether people admit it or realize it or not.
Yeah, they feed off of each other. I think it's back and forth relationship. There's sometimes custom companies take things from licensed companies, and sometimes licensed companies take things from the custom world. So I think all in all, collectors from both benefit because they both have some level of inspiration that they derive from each other.
Yeah, and XM, like Jose says, XM was custom before too, right? I think that's like way before my time.
Huh? XM did, yeah. They started as a custom company.
Yeah, so
Which I would love to see what some of the pieces that they made when they were a custom company. I never see. You think you would see some of those, but
Yeah,
maybe they have it from the internet.
that'd be actually pretty cool, actually, to see some of their. I have
Yeah, it
never
would be.
seen a custom product to them.
Yeah,
A pre
maybe the
XM piece.
licensure. Huh?
I said you may have. We just don't know it. You know what I mean? You just
Yeah,
got to know
that
what
too.
group that they what he did. Got to know what Group Bang did before XM. You know what I mean?
If anybody knows about any XM custom pieces they did before they were licensed, yeah, let us know. Anybody got any pics or anything? Post it in the group. That would be like something really cool.
Yeah, we may have seen them, just didn't know. That was from them.
We could go post them on the XM Life page and grill Ang about it.
There you go. Randy Bowen was an OG.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
So it seems like a lot of these licensed groups and big names in the industry have come from the customs too. So
Do you think that
It's got to start somewhere, right?
yeah,
Do you think that's their goal, like for custom groups? Like do you think they want to become licensed, or do you think there's like too much work in license to become licensed, so they stay in customs?
It depends on what they want. If they want full creative control, you definitely don't want to become a licensed company. I mean, it's just like the music industry. Music industry. You can
Right.
remain independent and have complete creative control. Have all of the money come into your pocket, but it's going to be more risk for you to take. So as opposed to you could go with a big label and there'll be your distribution, your marketing. But they're going to tell you, hey, you have to stay within these parameters as far as the type of music you make or, the type of videos you put out. So, I mean, but it does seem like if profit is the goal, profit over passion, then go license. If this is your passion and you really want to bring your full idea to reality and not have anybody, limit you, then, I would, if I was a commissioner, I would stick to doing customs but it all depends on what your goal is, passion or profit.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, man. Yeah, Steve, I think honestly, most of it, they don't have a goal to go license. I think they have a goal just for the passion and, like you said, creativity, license, freedom of creativity is more their goal or of what customs do.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's how I see it.
That's kind of why I'm among many reasons why my first statue was a custom. I noticed that right off the bat when I was, doing research because, I do tons of research before I even buy anything. And, I was in the community, like lurking and, watching videos and all that stuff for like a couple of years before I even bought my first statue. But I already knew just from looking at the custom world, it was like something I wanted to get into because they could do whatever they wanted. They were taking chances and all that. So that's one of the reasons why I stuck with customs and wanted to hop in on them. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But Jose says Xenomorph Studios was their, I think.
Oh, that makes sense. Xenomorph XM. I guess XM is short for Xenomorph.
Maybe that's funny.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Could be.
So they low key still have the same name.
Yeah.
That's
That's
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have thought that
low-key.
XM. That's what XM stands for.
We figured y'all out.
Yeah. Xenomorph Studios.
Thanks, Jose. Yeah, but I mean, customs going big. I mean, it was to be expected. They're not going to go smaller. That's for sure.
My one of my goals right now is to get Casual to buy a custom statue.
I got a bunch of customs. I got like a bunch of custom parts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
parts. I
need the
want
whole
to see.
thing.
I want to see a full custom back there one of these days.
Oh, I got a NYC ship, but I sold it already. But the experience was good, man. Like I didn't have a bad experience with it at all. Ordering, to having it shipped, playing the waiting game, like, but I
Yeah.
expected it. Unboxing it, the quality of the piece, like NYC did like a great job on the N1. But
They're definitely one of those bigger like custom groups out there though that everybody knows of. Like
Mhm.
everybody knows their name. So it's kind of like they're already kind of a licensed company, but not really. You know what I'm saying?
I see NYC going licensed. Yeah, they have a
Yeah.
licensed vibe to them for some reason. Like, you know, they're a
Yeah.
custom company, but they feel like a licensed company.
And their names out there all the time. You know, most custom companies are like, shh, don't talk about us and blah blah blah. They're like, hey, you know, we got all this stuff coming up, blah blah blah. You know, and you would think too that if anybody was gonna get sued, that company would, because it's Star Wars.
Star Wars, Disney,
know,
and everything. Yeah.
So they're out here, hey, look at us, buy our stuff, you know. So
I guess a follow up to
Yeah.
that, Jarhead. Why would you want to see a custom behind me or like in my collection?
just because, you know, like, you know, that might be it for you. That might, you know, get you that
Wow.
get that hook into you. You're like, oh, I gotta get
I
custom
want
this.
to go through the whole process. I want to see you put in on the interest list and everything.
Yeah. I'd be like, get rid of all these guys behind me.
your Justice League is probably your safest like bet to get into, because you know some of these 1/3s aren't going to be made anytime soon. So you know, especially ones that you want. I haven't seen the Flash yet.
Yeah.
So
There's a-
there, I was going to say there's a tease by that same company with the Flash. They're doing an Aquaman soon.
Ooh,
So-
that's cool.
They are, and there's another one as well doing a 1/3 Aquaman.
Yeah,
It's a comic book.
it's the classic comic version. So
I really like that one. That's the one that you could have it with the chair and it has a torso swap out with the old Aquaman and the young Aquaman.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a really dope one. But yeah, anybody got anything else on the topic?
No, I
Yeah,
think
I want to talk about that Queen Studios Hulk.
On the topic,
Okay.
though.
We're talking about the our
Sorry,
custom
yeah.
video.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
man,
leaped
was
right
ready.
that one. Sorry, man.
That's a whole other topic.
That's 1/3. It's 1/3.
Yeah, it's a big ass 1/3 for sure. But you
Yeah,
know,
we could go into it. I don't mind. I mean, if nobody got anything else onto this topic, we could, you know, whatever. Go where the wind takes us.
I mean, I wasn't planning to talk about that, but we could talk about it for sure. What
Oh.
do you want to say about it, Matt?
Yeah, let's hit Matt.
You know, So when I saw the teaser, right, I just saw the face of it, and they showed. Remember, they just showed the top half of it, and I was like, oh man, it's really dope, and it was really good. But I didn't realize it's silicone.
Yeah, the whole
Um,
thing.
Yeah, it kind of. I gotta take my words back.
As
I don't
far as
like
what?
it.
You
Oh,
don't?
wow.
don't like
I
it
just,
because
it's
it's
just, yeah, I'm not a, yeah, to me, that's not a statue. That's something else. It's,
Say it, Matt.
you know, yeah, yeah,
It's
man.
a
It's
toy.
just, yeah, okay, with the rooted hair and the silicone, and it's just kind of like, it's,
The kung fu grip.
yeah, or you remember Mr. Stretchy?
Yeah.
What was that little plastic band you used to pull it apart and stretch it, come back?
Stretch Armstrong.
Stretch. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
The guy in the one piece suit, red
Yeah.
suit. So, you know, I don't know.
I knew it was going to be expensive because it was silicone. You know, like the whole thing. Like a lot of the statues out there, all they do is like this head sculpt that's silicone. You know. But when they
Yeah.
announced that this whole thing, like, look, he's got no shirt on, so of course she was going to be silicone. So I knew it was going to be expensive.
Yeah, when I saw it, I didn't know, like, again, I just saw the face and the torso, and I thought it was a statue, and I didn't realize it was going to be the movie version either, where he's got the beer gun. So I thought it was going to be, a real Hulk in resin with, abs and,
I mean, there's nothing
Whatever.
wrong with the dad bod, okay, Matt?
No, trust me, I rock it hard, but still,
I accepted the dad bod a long time ago. All right.
Yeah, I think a lot of I mean, besides the collectors who actually go after silicone pieces and glass eyes, rooted hair, all of those extras, I feel like just looking at it, this is just it's a little bit better than average to me personally, right? It doesn't have like a wow factor. It's a nice representation of the Mark Ruffalo Hulk, but it doesn't have the wow factor. I think the wow factor of it comes from the fact that it's full of silicone and has all those extras, and the fact that it's articulated. You can move the arm and you can move the head to, I guess, varying degrees. But it's a lot of ingenuity put into this. A lot of groundbreaking new technology being used in this statue, and I applaud Queen Studios for that. You always got to. There always has to be a company or someone who just pushes something to the next level, and I feel like that's part of what this piece is doing. But in and itself, just taking a look at it and ignoring all of those extra things, I don't believe that this is worth $4,400. But of course it is, because medical grade silicone is expensive, and that much of it in a statue is going to demand a high price. But if you're not somebody who's into like, I'm not into silicone, I'm not into movie pieces, and I don't do 1/3, so this is completely off my grid. So I'm talking from a biased standpoint, but trying to take myself away from that biased standpoint and just looking at it. If I just, I didn't know all of those things. I mean, you know it's a movie piece because you can see that's Mark Ruffalo Hulk. But outside of that, just like the LBS Hulk to me just grabs my attention. It has that wow factor. It's an intense piece, with him screaming and the musculature and everything. But if you are a movie collector and you do silicone and all of those, the super high end features of statues, this is, I guess, perfect for you.
So I actually have a custom. Later on in the show, that has that Mark Ruffalo look to him. So I don't know if you guys have seen that yet, but there's a custom out there that looks like Mark Ruffalo. So I think though it's one of those printed ones where you what you call it,
STL.
STLs. So
yeah,
but it looks cool.
My thoughts on this thing, I think it's like, this is why I love having streams or live, like being on a panel with other people, because like you get to hear these perspectives, while like when I listen to some YouTubers give their thoughts on it, it's just like, it's just one perspective on it, right? There's no one arguing with him or her. It's just like, but
this is the most amazing statue ever.
Yeah.
Send it to me so I can review it.
CMP. I think this is a perfect movie Hulk statue. Like from the base to like portrait, it's perfect.
I don't think that's the problem though. I don't think anybody's taking that away from the statue. It looks like the
right.
movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been, but like that's not being said enough. I think the price has like shadowed this one in like where all the details on this piece are like forgotten.
Yeah,
I think like people are like, to me, like I know like I think I come off with like I hate J&D, which I really don't hate J&D. I just don't like their practices and like their price points and it being oversimplified, like a simple base and just a museum on pose.
yeah.
I think this kills the J&D piece, and not even by like a little bit. It's just
Leagues ahead.
Yeah, like the quality is here. And I think that's how they got that price. Like I keep bringing up the Wonder Woman from J&D, but that supposedly for some people was $3,400, and it was $4,400. People bought that, no question. Like I feel like those people will buy this, no question.
This thing is going to sell out. I guarantee it. It's going to sell out. And I know it's expensive, but I don't necessarily think we're the
audience for
the statue.
Yeah.
But it's going to sell out. It's expensive as hell. But what do you think? The whole statue is silicone, so it was going to be expensive. And of course, the articulation and all that stuff. But it's going to sell out for sure. It's a great statue. I don't take away from that. There's so much detail. Like there's hairs. Like when we zoomed in the other day on the statue, there's hairs, little like peach fuzz on his skin. That's nuts to me. Like that kind of detail. You can look at it right here and go, oh, that's very detailed. But when you zoom in on it, there's little hairs he has, like on his knuckles,
Yeah, like
all kinds of stuff. So
the
I
thing.
think I don't think it's gonna sell out. I think it might sit for a while, but I also think that this is gonna be a piece that a lot of collectors get in because of the different ingenuities behind it, and then after they get past that, wow factor of those features, probably gonna start to offload it if they're not that much of a fan of Mark Ruffalo Hulk. I feel like the ones who are really truly fans of this movie version of the Hulk will hold on to it, but I feel like there's a lot of collectors who are gonna buy this piece, and play with it and look at it and move the arm around and move the head and have fun with it. And then they're gonna be like, all right, I'm not really a big fan of Mark Ruffalo Hulk. It's time to get him out of here.
Yeah.
Because I know Mark Ruffalo Hulk for a lot of fans of the MCU. A lot of people aren't big on it. So a lot of people like the Norton Hulk back in the day, of course, and that's the definitive Hulk, and this is just not most people's idea of what they want their movie Hulk to be. So I feel like that might work against it. And then, like I said, people are going to buy it just because it's not just because, it is, like I said, I don't want to diminish how creative this is when it comes to, the silicone skin. And like you said, the rooted hairs all over his body. And it's really great for what it is. It's, it's groundbreaking.
This should have came out years ago, though, when the movies came out.
Definitely.
Now, I
don't back then. But I feel like people have it for the novelty and kind of start to get rid of it.
For me, that's worrisome, right? Because like X-Men 97 is out. Disney, Marvel, whatever you want to call it, is not going to do any movies this year. But they're going to start pumping out Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer. They might reboot the Avengers, or there's going to be a new Hulk, or there's going to be like the same actor, but a different movie. And people are going to gravitate towards that, and they're going to be like, this is too old to collect. I don't want this lineup. And Queen Studios is betting too much on this stuff right now.
So the new collectors are going to be like, whatever, boomer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like I can't wait to hear that.
Gotham Sunrise brings up a good point. It said it's going to sell out from Queen Studio, but not it's going to sit with distributors. And to the point about whether they're banking, how much of a risk they're taking on this. It's like if they sell out to distributors, they've made their money. So it's almost like the J&D situation when J&D says, oh, this piece sold out in how many 24 hours? Like, yeah, it sold out at J&D, but you can get it from distributors everywhere. So, maybe Queen Studios is taking an approach where it's like, okay, we pretty much got these all sold just through our distributors alone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think everybody's talked about this statue enough, so
yeah.
Let's get back to the world of custom, shall we?
Yes.
I didn't get my Big Mac. All right.
Yeah, you saw that.
Yeah.
But this is kind of just something I had just thrown up there with the X-Men 97. Like I'm totally into this show so far. So they got all the original actors playing the characters and everything. So I don't know. I think it's very nostalgic for me. So
you recommend it? Like I haven't seen it yet. So like
yeah, I definitely recommend it. The art on it too, man. Like the action and everything. It's dope. Like it's just elevated the old school one, I guess. Like it's still got that old school feel to it, but it's just elevated with the
and it's not pandering to these new era woke agendas so far in these two new episodes.
Not yet. We'll see.
Not yet. I mean, I hope they don't change direction. Go down that road. But the thing about the thing about X-Men is, X-Men was woke before woke was a thing. So X-Men always touched on political and social topics. From like the Friends of Humanity, which we saw in the first episode. They're supposed to be representative of a white supremacist group, except they're a mutant oppression group. There's so many parallels to society throughout X-Men. Even relationship wise, gender fluidity with Morph. and then all the different topics they explored. So before woke became a thing and got, you know, transformed into this kind of like, you know, ignorant thing it is now, where we're kind of just pandering to agendas. X-Men did it the right way, and I feel like that's what a lot of people. That's what drew a lot of people in the beginning in the 90s, because it's
So,
like, oh, we're
The
seeing real life.
only complaint that I have so far that they've changed is what they did to my girl Rogue.
Oh, her ass.
Yeah. Like you could tell the difference like in the animation. Like I'm not just talking about her, like she's just more slender than she was in the original. Like a lot of the other characters stayed the same, but her, you can tell they changed her body type. You know, that's kind of upsetting to me. And it's like, you know, I'm not necessarily talking about her butt. I'm just talking about the overall shape of the character. They changed it, which it's really noticeable on the show. So
Yeah, I think they did probably tone down the sexual nature of some of the female bodies.
yeah.
That is one thing. There definitely was even Storm had more curves on the OG 90s ones, but it doesn't really bother me much. It's because, you know, I mean, it's a cartoon and whatever. The character, the core of who the character is, still shines through to me. You know, so besides, when I was watching it back in the 90s, like I was too young to really be thinking about that stuff. So I guess maybe that's why.
Yeah.
You know, I was less than 10 years old, so I wasn't really looking at their bodies. You know, maybe if I remembered that from an older perspective, it would make a difference now for me.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really make a difference to me or bother me at all right now.
I am digging the animation style though, like the way the fluidity and like how the combat looks and everything. It's
yeah,
pretty.
Absolutely. Yeah, the combat is amazing.
Yeah,
I
definitely recommend this.
Probably went from like a 4 or 5 from the old like the 90s one to probably like an 8 or a 9 now. I mean, the moves are way better choreographed. They're not just like a random blast that knocks somebody out and they faint. You know, everybody fainting all over the place in the old 90s.
And I like the fact that, you know, through Morph, they're kind of like paying homage to a lot of other characters.
Yeah, I love that.
I haven't seen the series yet. They had a lot of you know, other X-Men and villains that showed up because of him, you know, so that was kind of cool. And
I like how Morph was using his powers. He was using his transformations in a way to help the team out during combat.
Yeah. I know some people were complaining about how powerful he is now, but if
he was
you read
in Age of Apocalypse.
That's what I was going to. If you read like, because that's where his skin and face looked like that was like in the Age of Apocalypse. Yeah. Like he was that powerful there. So they just adapted him. Yeah. So you know, in the first series he wasn't like that, but when they adapted him later in the comic books, he had that power set. He could just pretty much do, you know, anything almost, you know, as far as like shape shifting, like and that kind of stuff. So he's actually he can actually shapeshift. He's a better shapeshifter than Mystique is, you know, because Mystique can just take over somebody. Like she can just transform somebody's body and
she can't take their powers.
And apparently gender, but a Morph can he's more powerful in that aspect. So
yeah, in the 90s X-Men, they kind of used him more as like a spy, espionage type purposes, you know, sneaking into places, you know, pretending to be other people. But this one, they're actually using his powers for actual combat, and it's amazing.
They're more team oriented. It seems like in this show, they're using their powers off each other. Like Bishop, you know, when they're shooting stuff at them, Bishop like jumps in the way and like shields them all and takes the hit. You know, so
So Morph is in Morph is in these?
Yeah.
Well, how's that?
What do you mean?
Died in the originals.
See, you never watched him. Then he came back later on in the second, the second or third season he came back.
Sinister resurrected him and had him like under his control, and then he broke free of Sinister's control and basically was back.
Nerds.
All right, yeah, I gotta catch. I gotta read. Maybe that makes that does sound familiar. Wait a second. All right, so I gotta go back and rewatch it, man. Like it's been 30 years.
Yeah, the
So-
second or third season he comes back. So spoilers for everybody.
Yeah. Sorry.
And like Cyclops, man, he was just that landing he had from
Oh
the,
yeah,
plane,
from the sky.
that was crazy. I was just like, wow, they definitely giving Cyclops his just due, man.
They're definitely being smart on how they're using their powers. So it ain't just like he's just shooting optic blasts. He's like doing all kinds of crazy stuff with it, you know. So
You're doing the moonwalk. He's
Yeah.
like yeah. I saw
that
that.
was pretty
You know-
dope. Actually, that entrance that he made was like, wow.
I think this is a smart move by them. I think this is a very smart move by them coming out with this now, because this is also setting a precedent for the other, the Henry Cavill stuff coming up, of what they're going to do there.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, I guess it's been confirmed Henry Cavill's Wolverine now, right?
Shit, I don't know. I ain't
He's
hear that.
just doing I think he's just gonna be a what's it called? He's gonna be in the movie Deadpool, but I don't know if he's going to be Wolverine.
Yeah, there's a lot of people going to be
Yeah,
in the movie,
no.
so
Yeah.
they're not necessarily going to be
All right, so
those
all right.
characters going on because it's like a multiversal kind of thing.
Yeah.
So and he might not continue that role. He just might just be in there as a, just shows up as Wolverine, but doesn't continue as him later on. So, but all right, let's get to some of the pictures.
All right, I'll
Matt, you got to catch up, Matt. What's going on, man?
I don't know,
So-
man. I went to the Popeyes drive-through now. So
So
I want Popeyes.
kind of like what we were talking about earlier about the customs going to different sizes. It seems like they're more doing busts now too, like it's more prevalent, life size busts. This company right here actually came out with a one where his face is all jacked up, but now they're coming up with the option where you can change the face on it, so you can do a switch out where his face is clean. So, and they're also doing an X-Force and a brown suit version.
Oh wow. This one's got popular then, huh?
Yeah. So I guess the commissioner got asked a bunch of times if he could do basically a clean face and X-Force and brown skin suits. So I guess he decided that, it was worth it for him to do it. So
What do you think about that? Like this initially came with like the broken face or like the messed up face.
yeah.
It got pre-ordered, right? It got put into pre-order. People ordered it, and then like they come with different variations of it later, like a month later.
Yeah. For me, that's what attracted me to begin with. I don't think I would necessarily do a switch out, because somebody asked me a couple weeks ago if I was gonna get the regular head for him. To me, it just didn't make any sense. I want to see that battle damage on his face. That was why I was gonna get it in the first place. I'm not gonna switch him back and forth. I just know me, so I didn't even bother with it. But I know some people, for instance, like their Wolverines is brown suited. They want a brown suited Wolverine as their Wolverine. So I think that was smart in that aspect. I don't know how much the X-Force one's going to sell, because that one's more of a niche. But like, I think he definitely needed to make a brown suited one for sure. But I think the selling point on the original statue was his face was all jacked up basically. So
It's great that like this thing is selling well and like they're announcing new variations because I can't wait to see the next one. Like what's gonna be the next one. So that's cool.
Like this guy's had quite a few busts out there too. I think he's done a Spider-Man, a Venom. So this is kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Like I said,
there's a Venom and Carnage in production right now.
With the life size bust and stuff like that. Some of the stuff's getting bigger, so it's cool. Like and this is that 1/3 that we showed earlier.
Yeah.
So this is 1 and 1. Was it 1/3?
1 and 3.5.
Yeah, I always mess that up. But this to me is dope. This to me is like
this came out really nice.
the paint and everything on the base, man, it looks it's gorgeous. I if I was gonna get a Thanos, this would be my Thanos.
The only issue, well, I won't say only, but one of the issues I have with this is I don't understand what he's doing with his hand here. Like, I know it's a common.
That's the you can't see me from.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. But I'm just like, I mean, if his hand was more towards his glove, like maybe he was maneuvering the glove, the gauntlet, or something. But I just don't understand why he's just grabbing his elbow like that. That's just the only thing. It's a cool looking statue, but that pose, and even the other pose where his arms crossed, and his arms aren't like, they're just like, it's weird, like it's like the muscles getting in the way, so they're not like fully crossed. They're just kind of
I have the same problem when I cross my arms too.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I don't know,
but this angle right here though, that looks dope. Like I know what you're saying about him not being able to cross his arms all the way, but
yeah, it's like he just has the hand right here, and it's not all the way in, like they fully fold. But like you said, it looks great. Like both of them look good. Like they look aesthetically pleasing. It's just that
to me, this head sculpt goes with this.
It does.
To me, like he's like, hey, look what I got.
Yeah, it's like he's flexing, like he's showing off or something almost. Yeah. But it just looks like he's scratching his elbow, kind of, to me. It gives me that kind of vibe, and that kind of throws me off.
To me, the selling point of this is this.
The base, yeah.
Yeah. To me, this is better than the LBS. This base.
Hate.
Custom.
Is this Infinity Gauntlet Thanos, or is this?
This looks like Infinity, but I think it's going off the movie. It looks like.
Yeah, that's from the movie right there, right?
Yeah. But they're all classic uniforms though, so I don't know if you can tell because that's classic Thor and classic Cap, classic
Silver
Surfer. So it's going kind of off the movie, but not really. It's going off more classic.
I like the base, but I've never been the hugest fan of these storytelling bases. Depends on how they're done. This one is done well.
I love it.
But to me, I feel like it doesn't quite. Number one, if the base is the standout part of a statue for me, that automatically detracts from the statue. Like if the reason why I want a statue is because the base is done a certain way, it's not the character itself. It kind of just throws me off a little bit, and I think that has some of this going on. The base and Thanos himself do, they align pretty well as far as which one is more attractive in the entirety of the piece. But just in general, the relief storytelling bases, I feel like they're starting to kind of get a little overdone. I feel like LBS Thor was the best one that did it, and you're starting to kind of run with it. You saw that Spider-Man from that group that has all the different Spider-Man. There's a museum Silver Surfer with a story base where he's fighting different villains. You got this. You got the Doctor Doom. It's kind of getting a little too repetitive for me. But a lot of them, they are nice and they are creative. But
I think to me it adds to the statue. It's not overshadowing the statue because it's like telling a story without him doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, to me, if you're gonna have like your ultimate version of whatever character, having like a story of his greatest hits on the bottom of it, to me, just makes sense. To me, it doesn't overpower the statue. It just adds to the statue. Like, it's a great sculpt. I like the sculpt and everything, but when I look at the base, it's just like the sweetest of icings on the cake.
Yeah, I think it also looks good if you're a collector that likes the museum pose with that storytelling base, so it fits in line with everything else you have in your collection, right?
Yeah,
but I guess yeah. But so let me ask you this though: do you not like a base? Say you have a dynamic pose and it's got a dope base, like say the Nightcrawler, right? Sideshow's Nightcrawler with that Sentinel hand. Does that take away from you, or is it just more? Are you referring more of the storytelling museum pose bases?
Well, the Nightcrawler, for example, it doesn't take away from me because it's a part of an environment. You know, it's not necessarily just a base to tell a story about the character. Like the Sentinel hand and the BAMF is a part of the action that Nightcrawler is taking on that statue. Like with these museum storytelling bases, the base isn't actually a part of the environment of the character. It's just, you know, it kind of stands on its own.
Gotcha. All right.
But even this base, like I like. I don't mean to make it seem like I don't like the storytelling bases. I do like them, but just certain ways that they're done just doesn't appeal to me. Like for example, this Thanos one, I don't like the rounded top. I don't like how the top of it rounds up under his feet, and I don't like those pillars that kind of swoop up and point out above the rim of the base, the top rim of the base. Like, you know, just certain small design features, you know, when they're done, kind of, you know, throw me off aesthetically as far as what pleases my eye. You know, I would have preferred the top of the base to be completely flat and it to be completely level rather than have those kind of pillars that elevate above it, you know. So just certain small things like that.
What do you think, Casual?
Yeah, I like this a lot. Like, it's just like the Thor, you know, like you guys were mentioning, like there's a storytelling base, but with it being in the whole museum pose, like it tells the story of the character on top. It doesn't take it away from it, I think. Thor himself looks badass. Like that's what I was asking. I don't know if this is the Infinity Gauntlet Thor or Thanos or the movie one, but for me, like I kind of wish there was more texture on the guys. That's your favorite part, Jarhead?
Yeah. Out of all the scenes on it, I think this is my favorite right here.
Mm-hmm. But we're on Thanos. I wish his suit was texturized, like a little bit more. Like you see the fabric or something. It's smooth than anything.
Yeah.
But you said this is in 2 scales, right? Quarter and
no, it's 1 scale, two different versions. One's a classic like paint job, and the other one's more of a modern paint job.
Okay.
Yeah, modern and comic. I think this is the comic one. This is the more punchier, one.
What's the scale on this thing?
1 and 3.5.
Okay, I'm out.
But you know, he's a big character anyway, so he might fit in anyways, you know.
So the commissioner was saying that, you know, the scale on or the size of these non-human characters varies differently, which he's completely correct about. So you can pretty much make these non-human characters not any scale, you know, you want to make it respectable, but you know, they occupy varying sizes, so scale doesn't really, you know, throw it off.
Looks good though. I like it. Next up, custom Spider-Man symbiote. What do you guys think about this? You seen this?
I've never seen this one.
I have.
I don't care for it. It's too shiny. Like, to me, a Spider-Man should be like in a pose, like acrobatic. Like, I've never been a big Spider-Man fan with him just standing there, you know.
Yeah, this one doesn't really do it for me either. It's cool. It's a cool concept. You know, it looks like it's executed well, but doesn't really.
Like his face. Look at that. Yeah. Gross.
Oh yeah, that's not. Yeah,
Looks like he just smelled something really bad.
What do you guys think about? So I've never been a fan of like an old man Spider-Man. Like somebody's like, to me, Spider-Man's always going to be a kid, right? It's going to be Peter Parker. And when I see some of these statues, and you know, he's got a lot of muscle, he's got like you know, 30-year-old body muscle. It just kind of throws me off a little bit. I mean, is it just me, or do you guys feel that way too?
It depends. Like if the whole thing looks good, then you know I don't mind it too much. But I can see like certain people like their Spider-Man, like you know, like super skinny. You know, I don't mind it as long as it looks good, like it's proportionate. It's when you like get like weird, like disproportionate body types like that is when I have an issue.
Yeah, it's like me seeing a Spider-Man, looking like Hulk, looking like Thor. It's like, I don't see Spider-Man as that
No,
muscular.
they got to keep it. They got to keep it relative to how he is in the comics. I think so.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's source material as well, so.
So this is a custom. What's this guy's name? Kratos from the game. I love this thing. Looks dope.
Yeah, this is a dope piece.
Yeah, I saw that. It looks pretty cool.
This is like definitely one of my favorite God of War statues that are out there.
Yeah, collectors are gonna be happy with this one. This is gonna be another huge piece, though.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. He's even got to switch out with his older like beard to the younger one.
I think Vision has this on order.
He had talked about it. I don't know if he's gonna pre-order it yet or what, but he's contemplating it. So
Yeah, it's a dope piece. Not for me, but definitely gonna be dope. Ton of detail in that chair there.
yeah. This is my my favorite custom group. Lots and lots of detail.
Yeah, the back of it looks like wood, doesn't it? Like it was carved
Yeah,
out of
it
wood.
looks just
I
like
that.
wood. Oh, and then I saw this not too long ago. What did you guys think about this? You guys seen this?
Mm-mm.
Whiplash from
No.
Iron Man 2.
Yeah, this is
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, this
Hey.
is looks dope.
I want my bird.
I like the concept of this piece, but I feel like it's too many straight edges, if that makes sense. Like from my eye when I look at it, the suit, the armor or the suit, whatever it is, it looks a little bit too chunky or blocky. Like there's not enough fluidity or enough curvature and incorporated.
Yeah.
There's just too many straight edges for my liking. But it is a dope concept, I believe. The mechanical concept. But
The portrait, it looks really good.
yeah, the portrait looks good.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't display that. I would definitely display it with any character with a helmet or a mask or just like a native way they display their uniform without their actual face. I would never display their actual face. I'll always go with the mask or helmet or whatever they have.
How I was talking about earlier, with the early bird ordering. See, customs are starting to do it now too. So you get a display stand if you order earlier.
Yeah, this custom studio, I believe they've been doing that. They operate pretty similar to licensed companies. They're not secretive with their identity. They have a whole website that you can literally order from. There's no I'm in and you hit up a commissioner. You go to the website and you can place an order on the actual website, just like a licensed studio. So that's one thing. And the promos and early bird specials of that sort, they've been doing that for a lot of their pieces, dating back for a while now. So I'm not sure. It's kind of weird. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how they operate, out in the open like that. The website.
I don't think it's as big a deal as it used to be.
I don't either. But I mean, it's tradition. So how that goes sometimes.
So
this is the same dude that's doing that Ironmonger too. So
yeah.
The big Ironmonger statue that coming out. This is the same.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
And the Galactus on throne.
What were you gonna say, Steve?
I remember.
I thought that Iron Man was 1/5 scale, wasn't it? It's my cat.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember either. I thought that was 1/5.
I remember when his character Whiplash. I mean, I was unfamiliar with Whiplash, the character. But I remember when he first came out in Iron Man 2, and I thought that was the like the MCU version of Omega Red. I thought they just put him in there. It was like they were trying to do Omega Red, but you know, they had to come with their own version of it. But then I found out that's not the case.
Yeah, Whiplash has been in Iron Man comics for a long time. He never had a suit. He just had like whips that could do different things, like, you know, like electrocute people and stuff like that. So he was never in a mechanized suit, but he's been in the Iron Man comics for a while. I just hope they light up like this. That'd be dope.
Yeah, that light up is amazing if it does turn out to be like that.
You can actually take the front piece off too and show the internals of the suit. So that was cool. There's the early bird display stand. That's cool. You know, like I said, like earlier, to me, to get people to buy stuff, not necessarily with money, but like stuff like this. I think this will get people to buy over like 15% off or whatever.
I think there's two categories that the early bird specials fall in. As far as collectors go, number one, it's going to be collectors that were already going to buy the piece. They probably were just going to take longer than if they would take if there was an early bird special. So it's like, hey, if I was already going to buy this piece and now they're offering an incentive to buy it early, I'll buy it early. Cool, because I was going to get it anyway. But then there's the harder type of collector to get with the early bird specials, which is collectors that weren't going to buy your piece or just on the fence about the piece in general. You know, if to get those collectors, that early bird special has to have a lot of value. It can't just be something, you know, arbitrary or novelty. Like, to me, if I'm just on the fence about a statue or I'm not going to get it, but I like it, a bus stand would not put me over the edge. You know, it would probably have to be a swap out on the actual statue that adds a lot of value or adds another dimension to the character of the statue. But it's still a great idea in either way, because you're going to draw something. You're throwing a fishing line out there and you're going to get something back. Either you're going to get the collectors who are going to get it anyway and now they're just incentivized to get it earlier, or you may catch a few collectors who are just kind of on the fence or maybe thought it's cool and, you know, maybe the bus stand does it for them. But, you know, a bus stand to me isn't really that much of a big deal, but it is still nonetheless a great incentive, just a great thing to incentivize, you know, purchasing early.
Yeah. There's a ton of detail on this statue. Like, if you zoom in and look at it, really, like, there's a lot of machinery and all kinds of detail in this thing. So that's pretty cool. Like, just from the back where the like the spine is, like, and the fact that it's got these arm, like connected to the arm, like rods connected to the arm, like that's a lot of detail. Hydraulics. There you go. That's crazy. To me, that stuff like that, I think is cool. Like, when you got detail like that.
If it's
like
the same company that
XMP.
if it's the same company that you mentioned that did that's doing the other bigger iron, what was it called? That
Iron Monger.
This is gonna be legit. I put all my faith on this thing. It's gonna
Look at that detail, man. That's nuts.
But the Ironmonger is still in render phase as well, though, right? We haven't seen a prototype or anything, have we? Or
I think there was a prototype, like,
there was.
right next to a Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I remember that. Yeah, okay, yeah, that does look sick.
But I speak on their work. Like, their work has been legit. I like their work.
I mean, even the portrait, like, that's really good. I mean, that's outdoing a lot of licensed companies out there. I don't know. I think this is pretty dope.
Yeah, I think it has that cool factor.
Yeah. If I was like a hardcore Iron Man guy, like, especially from the movies, I would scoop this up.
There's a lot of them too,
Yeah.
like Iron Man collectors.
Yeah. I'm sure this is going to do well. So it looks really good. So here's the thing that I'm trying to get Steve to buy. This looks good, cool. Man. It looks good. Like, yeah, he's not running and he's not in a running pose, but other than that, like, it looks great.
Doesn't
it looks like he's about to start running.
Yeah, like he's thinking about it.
You know what I mean?
Like
Yeah.
he's contemplating in his mind. He's like, should I start running or should I just stand here looking swole?
To me, it's something about the paint, or like it doesn't look like he's wearing a suit. It looks like he's like you're seeing his muscles. Like,
Yeah.
it's, I don't know what it is. It's just I don't know if it's because like there's no like it's smooth, like smoothed out.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't look like a suit to me. Or stitches.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying, Steve. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he's been vacuum sealed into the suit.
a suit. Yeah.
It does look good. Like overall, it definitely looks badass. It's definitely Flash. What do you guys think of the base on that thing? It's like really, really simple.
It's just simple. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I always liked Sideshow's Flash the most out of all the Flashes I've seen.
Danny Belly. Yep.
Yeah. So I love that one. But, how many 1/3 Flashes are you going to get? So
One.
LBS might do one, I'm sure. So we'll see.
I like this piece. My only issue is that it doesn't represent Flash's character to me. As far as number one, we all know he's a speedster, so you don't see anything that indicates that on this statue. And then I think also his expression. I think his expression is a little bit too intense for Flash. Flash is generally more of a easygoing kind of comic relief kind of character, and I would like to see that come through in the statue, because the statue is so just museum and plain base, and I would want something in there to kind of give more depth to the actual character. Maybe it should have been in the base. I think the base is too simple. But other than that, it's sculpted really well. It's a lot of striations and cuts as if you would see in somebody who runs like a sprinter, which is what essentially he is. So, I think the sculpt on his body is pretty accurate to what he does. But I would have just like to see some indicator of him being a speedster.
Yeah. So the next thing, this White Queen. There's 2 different variants of this. I think this is kind of cool.
The blue cow.
Yeah, I was thinking on this at one point, but then I decided not to. I went for the XM one.
Yeah.
But this is probably the most accurate costume of Emma back from her early days.
Old school days, yeah.
Yeah, everybody, a lot of collectors always say, hey, we want, an old school version of Emma, as far as her uniform goes, and this is it. Unfortunately for me, like I don't like the fact that she's sitting down. This is almost like a throne statue to me. Not quite, but it's just like I'd rather see her actually doing something, like showing her power somehow, or getting ready for battle.
I have the XM Studios one. I like mine. I think this was inspired by it, most likely. Like with the whole, maybe it was like comic book cover and everything. But I definitely see a lot of XM stuff here. But still, if I didn't have this XM Studios one, I'd probably go for this.
Yeah,
something I just noticed is the it's got an X on the red couch and the Hellfire Club symbol on the blue.
Mm-hmm. I'm not looking there, Jarhead. So yeah, good catch.
I'm looking everywhere else.
Uh-huh.
I have virgin eyes. I can't be looking at this.
The thing about it is nice sculpt. Is that I don't think superhero or X-Men or villain or whatever. I think like like a sex worker or like something like that. Like it's I know the nature of her uniform and her character is somebody seductive and sexual, but it's just not enough in the statue that kind of lets me know that okay, I'm looking at somebody with powers. Like
Yeah, I could see that. Yep.
So I put this on there because they addressed some of the stuff that some of the issues that you can see on here. So this stuff's gonna get taken care of.
Yeah, I think this piece is actually shipping now. I think it's either shipped or it's actually hitting certain collect. I think I've seen it in somebody's collection already. 'Cause it's been in production for a while now.
Batman.
This is new.
I
Arkham,
haven't
right?
seen that one.
Yeah, Arkham.
And these statues, they're holding their capes, man. I can't stand it. This does look good though.
That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I like that.
The base is very, very simple.
If you're gonna
Yeah, that's okay.
simple on a plain black base,
But there's a lot of detail in his costume.
yeah, a lot of textures. I like it. I like the Batman. I just don't like what he's. I just don't like. I don't understand the cape situation.
Maybe he's hiding something. He's got a magic trick.
You gotta be, man. It's just, looks like he's like a matador.
You know, like I think that's that's funny. Yeah, no, I actually like him holding the cape like that. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, he uses the cape for a lot of different things when he fights and whatnot. So
yeah, it looks good.
I
It's
think-
just that I don't know what he's doing with it. You know, it's just the concept. Like, are you just posing for this to become a statue? You know, or like other than that, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I look for too much sense in my statues, but that's just the type of collector I am. Like, if you're doing
Maybe-
the action,
Maybe he's getting ready to walk over some water.
and
You know,
you see, to me, if I have to ask all these questions, that's all like it's automatically a hurdle for me as far as.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
But yeah, it does look good though. It does, like, aesthetically, it has that feel like, wow, this is imposing, intimidating. Yeah.
Oh, and then there's Cyclops. I don't know if
This
you
is-
guys are into the scuba Cyclops, but it's like the old school.
It's old school. I like it.
Yeah. Some people that's what they want. You know, the old school.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm
well,
not
I would
a fan.
agree. Well, like Casual said, I would rather see that Flash in this style suit than the way the other one was with his striations showing so much.
Yeah, like this one you can actually tell he's wearing a suit because you can see like the folds
Right.
and everything.
Right. And if that Flash was, if you could tell Flash was wearing a suit, I like that pose and that concept of the way that Flash was. But I agree with Steve. You know, I'm not as Steve pointed out. I agree with him about the striations of being a little overdone on this with that Flash.
Yeah, I'm not feeling this. I don't like the old school style.
Yeah,
Too
but
smooth, no
there
texture.
are those guys though. You know, like I like the newer stuff too.
Well, are they going to come out?
This
Will
looks
they
good.
do all the original 4 X-Men
I'm not sure.
with
if
the
they-
the
I would
old school, or is
imagine
it just a one-off?
I would imagine though if they're doing this, they're probably going to do a line of it. So I haven't heard anything yet.
So they would do a beast. Would they do a beast without the fur? You know, not a blue beast, but an original beast.
Yeah, like this with the regular skin, probably.
So this is being produced by a group.
No, this is like a render from a
From a digital sculptor.
yeah. But normally his stuff gets turned into stuff, so we'll see. But I would imagine if they starting with like this, they're probably end up doing like the original X-Men. That would be dope.
Yeah.
Oh, this is that Mark Ruffalo statue I was talking about earlier. The
Okay.
custom one. So I thought this was pretty good.
It's on
Yeah,
the
it's cool.
thumbnail. I like the concept on this one. Like he's just getting out of the I guess, or what's he doing here? He's getting out of tubes, or he's getting out
Yeah,
of
like just some
capsules?
kind of like experiment or something, like some kind
Yeah.
of yeah.
One argument I heard with the silicone is like you won't be able to get that skin texture or that gloss. And I know this is just a render, but this has a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. That's cool.
And it's not going to be 45,000, 4,500.
This is a silicone though, right?
No, this is the
No.
one of those STL files.
Okay.
And this is like a Kirby version of that.
That's cool.
And this is that 1/3 that we were looking at earlier. Wolverine. I think they're like old school sculpting him here. Like that. They're not doing that digital thing, I think. They're just like doing like with the clay and
Clay.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I really like this piece a lot. It has a really mature vibe to me.
Yeah.
Like kind of gritty and intense. That's kind of like how I like my pieces. I like them to be kind of
This-
gritty and intense.
This piece actually sold out too, I believe.
Yeah, the 1/3. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a waitlist over for it. But you know you'll see it on the market somewhere, at some point.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, and then this Nova. I thought this was kind of cool. I don't know what these little things are sticking out of the ground.
It's
but
just energy.
it's
Yeah.
energy. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, the
energy.
force from his energy. Yeah.
But I thought this was
Yeah.
a cool Nova.
I was confused not confused, but I was surprised when I saw this because this is Franco's work.
Yeah.
This Nova was supposed to be a museum, and then when they revealed it, it was obviously a dynamic dial where he's knocking out Annihilus. But it's still dope though. I think
Yeah, it's dope.
possibly the best sculpted Nova on the market or coming to the market still. But I was just looking forward to a museum Nova.
So I was thinking about comparing this one to the XM one that's coming out.
like a
doing,
versus?
like, the versus, and then versus with like there's a couple other ones that I'm thinking about doing, but this is one of them.
Do they have a picture of this painted and everything, or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
There are color renders of this that are out there. It's not. It hasn't been shipped yet. It hasn't been painted by the prototype hasn't been painted, but there's color renders that show what it's supposed to look like.
This looks really good. Like
Yeah, as you
his
see.
costume looks good. Lots of detail. There's
It's alright. It's alright. No, looks good.
a couple portraits. The screaming one and the gritted teeth, and the one with his hand is got energy on it. I dig it. I kind of want to see what it looks like painted for sure.
Mhm.
I'm gonna show the colored renders really quick.
Yeah, that's really that looks really good.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
So definitely gonna be a lot of colors and pop a lot
Oh
The
wow.
only thing I don't care for the energy. It's just
on his hand or on his feet or both.
on the feet. Like they just need to. I think they need to work on that a little bit more. Even on the hand a little bit. Like it just lacks detail. There's not like it doesn't look like
Yeah.
envy to me. It's like
Really
Anime.
flat.
yeah, like anime. Yuck.
I'm liking the detail on the Nautilus though.
They even put 5 o'clock shadow on his face. Like I don't know if you
Okay.
saw. Looks good.
Yeah.
I really like this character. I've always been into him back when he was with the New Warriors. I don't know if any of you guys read that, but that was a dope series. I was really young though. when that
You
came
must
out.
have hated seeing him in the movies. Like he was ruined in the movies, I think.
I don't even know what that was.
Yeah.
You can go over to your pictures.
All right. Oh, and then they're doing a vision. But this is pretty cool. There's one thing I don't care for, and it's this leg. I don't know what he's doing here.
I feel
They
like that looks like me posing, like putting my leg out, like trying to balance. Like,
No. This is a Franco sculpt right here. I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks
Even-
good. Like the overall sculpt is just that leg. I don't know.
I think he's just finishing phasing upwards through Ultron.
Uh-huh.
And he's just kind of like, I don't know. It is kind of weird, but yeah, I think he's just kind of like moving upwards through Ultron, and he's just coming out of him.
No,
It's like-
yeah. I don't know. I've seen a lot of faults here. Like the portrait kind of like his head looks really small, like for his body, and then the cape looks really short for like what he usually wears.
You think his head
Um,
looks small?
Yeah, like I don't know. It's like I don't know if it's his face or his overall head, but it looks small compared to like I had the sideshow vision, and it looks really small. I don't know if it's just it looks like it's not like D3. You said it's like first phase of rendering, I guess, or
I think this might actually be printed.
Yeah, I think it's
Wow.
printed.
okay.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
that
I
what kills
agree.
me-
I agree with you. I agree with Casual. I think it's the cape. I think the sculpt, the body and the head's fine. It's the cape that's off, and yeah, the leg is. You know, which leg are you referring to? The one phasing through
The other one just
the
hanging
one-
out
the
there.
ballerina pose,
I don't know
like
what
the
that
ballerina
is.
Adonis type thing.
His leg is just there, like just hanging there. Like it should have been like up a little bit, maybe, or like bent, maybe. Like it just looks funny right like that.
Yeah, he gave him more of that ballerina Adonis look. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's another one
but
custom on the market that I really like. And it took
Vision?
time. Yeah, the custom vision.
There's a couple. There's
The one
where
that's
it's
already
like-
out.
Yes.
Okay,
The-
the one where he's holding Ultron's head, or he hold
Yeah. He's the old school
head-
red and green
yeah,
suit.
Yeah, I like that one too.
right. But it's where it's got to switch out torsos.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, me too.
If I
Have you-
if I could get one, that would be definitely the one to get.
Have you ever seen that show Mad TV by chance?
Yeah, a long time ago.
There's this
Of course.
character named Stuart.
Of course.
It's that
So-
character right there. He's like, don't. I'll yeah. I'll put it up on custom produce.
I used to love watching that, man. He looking like a man.
Yeah.
He looking
The
like a man.
swan.
That's all I got for pictures. So I don't know if you got anything else, D3, but
Nah, I didn't. I don't think there was too much going on in the custom world as far as new announcements, new updates this past week. Nothing I could really recall.
oh, there's that storm that I got announced. I seen it on somebody else's channel. So I mean, that looks good.
Which one? The one where he showed the teaser.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
in, somebody else showed it, so that's why I'm bringing it up. So I wouldn't
Gotcha.
bring it up unless they showed it up. But
Yeah,
that looks-
definitely. Yeah,
that looks good.
it does look good so far. We're gonna see. I commented on it as to see if maybe was that gonna be the ones that are on the Dome, the XM Storm.
I sure hope so. I've got my fingers crossed on this one.
Lately that studio's been putting out bangers, man. They've
Yeah.
definitely stepped up their work and moved up to a higher tier in the custom world with their recent releases. So recent releases and announcements.
Yeah.
That new Archangel, working on Apocalypse, just shipped Magic and Emma, and those were hits. Now the
Yeah.
Thanos, everybody's going
It's
crazy.
that old school like X-Men uniform too. Like I like that uniform from the Jim Lee era. That's the uniform that they're using. Like the one behind you, like the XM Storms. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this and seeing what it looks like all together.
I'm really looking forward to that Apocalypse. I want to see what he does with that Apocalypse, man. Even though it's going to be, he says it's going to be a storytelling base, just like
Yeah,
the
just like
Thanos.
that. I hope it's just as good as Thanos, because if it is, I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah, I just hope the base is just a little bit different. Doesn't have those same exact design.
Yeah.
The same exact design as the Thanos.
I mean, I would love a scene where he's fighting the X-Men for sure. Like, that'd be dope.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be in there.
Have some kind of Egyptian theme, I'm sure.
Man, I still have my high hopes that LBS is going to produce their Apocalypse and Archangel.
Yeah, but
Hopefully.
they never announced that, so that's like a
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those things. So
Hopefully, it still comes to fruition years from now at some point. But
yeah.
yeah, I have the XM Apocalypse, but I like that Apocalypse because of how amazingly detailed the sculpt is.
Yeah.
But I don't see it as my definitive Apocalypse. So I would love for somebody to create what I would see as the definitive Apocalypse, and I'm hoping that's going to be the one. So
Well, if nobody has anything else, we can get out of here and call it a night. Make it a,
I'm looking at that storm right now, like that teaser or whatever.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
okay.
Put it up on the screen. Somebody already put it up, so you can put it up.
Well, you want to put up his channel? I could put up his channel.
I
Nah, I won't.
thought you were
Nah.
looking on the group, but I mean, nobody has anything else. We can get out of here and call it a night for sure.
Hold on, let me pull it up real quick.
Just don't put up the group. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's got the name on the picture or not.
Oh, it actually does.
Yeah, it does that with pictures.
Yeah, guess not. Oh man, I mean, the thing is, at this point, I think the secrecy thing needs to be done. Not done away with, but it's like the people who are watching these streams, especially this one specifically about customs. I mean, we're all pretty much collectors, or already know what groups we're all talking about. I mean, I understand you got to cover your ass, but
you got to cover yourself. They put something out that it's actually more proof that it's a production instead of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's
You anybody got anything coming in like custom wise or anything shipping anytime soon? Or?
Well, I just had this Domino come in, the Storm come in. They are, it's crazy because these have both been paid for. I paid for the Storm, fully paid off. Like
I know. It's been sitting for a while now. Never went to pick it up.
I just haven't had it shipped to me. So shout out to Nick Mango. That's who I purchased it from. Very cool veteran collector in the community. Pretty much everybody knows him. He held down the Storm for me for over a year. So shout out to him. The Domino. Funny thing about the Domino. I had her sitting and I didn't pay the shipping, and the commissioner kind of forgot and actually, I guess, sold off my piece. But it worked out perfectly because I was able to buy it from a collector who was selling it for $400 less than retail, shipped. So I ended up saving about $600 on her. And then the payment that I had made for her with the commissioner got transferred over to the new Archangel that he announced. So now that's fully paid off, and I got this Domino for $600 cheaper than I would have gotten from the commissioner.
Yeah.
So that just worked out in my favor. Sometimes you take W's, sometimes you take L's. I also got that Havoc kit on the way here, and I have that Sentry kit from that same group on the way here. I generally
I was thinking about picking up that Havoc one.
I think he got like 2 spots.
He's got like 2 or 3 spots left. I'm contemplating it, but then there's that one that we had talked about with the 90s uniform. And I mean, I like that one, the unpainted one for sure. So I'm just kind of contemplating on which one I want more. So
I'm just gonna end up doing both, man, because it's 2 different representations of the character.
Yeah.
I generally send my kits straight to the painters just so I could eliminate the extra shipping costs and all that.
Yeah.
But I just
my painter's local, so I can just take them.
So. I got too many kits with painters right now, so I can't. I don't want to send any more. And I got that Franco Wolverine going to Matt right now too.
The museum line.
Yeah, the one that's part of the same line as Beast right here.
Yeah.
But so those 3 kits are on their way to their respective places. and I got Blob. Blob is on the boat right now.
It's a big ass statue, bro.
Yeah, that's probably
Big
going to be
ass
another 2 to 3 weeks, and I believe that's it right now.
I've got nothing coming per se right now. But I've got stuff ordered. I've got quite a few things pre-ordered. Oh, actually, no, I do. That's wrong. I've got a custom Black Panther on the way.
That's
On
awesome.
Throne. So I've got that one coming. So with Storm. And I think that's the only thing I have coming right now at this point. But I've got quite a few customs ordered, and I'm working on a deal right now to get something big. So
Me too.
Yeah,
so
I got a Black Panther that's going to be on its way soon. I still haven't paid the shipping on it yet, though. So that's the only thing holding that one up. That's the one where he's holding up his
holding
fist.
the fist. There was like 3 of them that came out at the same time.
Yeah. So hopefully that's going to be the next one that I pay the shipping on and get it home. Then after that, I should. Oh, besides the Maestro, I got Maestro, Hulk, and Prototype Z Ken, all at spec that I kind of need to finish dealing with. So just shipping on 2 of those need to be paid. But as soon as all these shipping balances get paid up, I'll be
Real quick,
breaking a lot.
Cyphers asking about, do customs retain their value? Yeah. I'd say 9 times out of 10 more than licensed stuff, because you can't get customs everywhere. So I think sometimes the customs retain or go up in value more so than the licensed pieces. At least that's my opinion. I mean, I have seen customs go for cheaper than what they bought them for, but it doesn't happen a lot, unless somebody's just trying to off the statue per se. They're just trying to get rid of it. But most of the time, customs will sell for more than what they came out for.
I think there's a lot of factors to that question. A lot of it definitely depends on, in my opinion, the group or the studio that's doing it. There's different tiers to custom groups that I've noticed. Some of them are definitely going to be a lot cheaper and have lower quality, but it's kind of like, you get what you pay for and you know what it is. Then you got, you kind of the mid-level groups, pretty consistent, not mediocre quality, but satisfactory quality, to their pieces. Then of course you got the top of the line ones, which is probably like a good handful, top tier quality, been in the game a long time, demand higher prices, whatever the case may be. Depending on where your statue's from and that, that ranking, I feel like that affects the resellability of it, because the ones that occupy the lower rankings, I definitely see them go cheaper than retail a lot in the aftermarket a lot, or just older pieces in general. And then also I think the hype affects it as well. Like that Wolverine and Tank you got, Jarhead. Nobody's gonna be letting that go for less than retail, and a lot of people are gonna be doubling the price that they sell it for.
Yeah, I've already seen it double. So
yeah, I don't know about that. That's a really shaky area to operate in, to sell something for double what you pay for it before you even get it. It's kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that, but nonetheless, what pieces can get that treatment and which ones don't, for the most part. Depending on what the community is talking about, the general feeling about the piece, how many are available as far as ES. So there's a lot of factors that play into it, but generally, like Jar had said, I do think that most customs will retain at least the value that you paid for them, excluding the shipping, because you got to remember, if you PO a custom piece, you're paying for shipping from overseas to get to, if you're in the US, depending on where you're at, you're paying for overseas shipping, as opposed to if you buy it locally, the shipping is going to be greatly reduced if you buy it from a local collector. So don't factor in shipping when it comes to maintaining value, or just if you do factor in, know that, if I paid $1,000 for this custom piece and shipping was $250 from China, that's $1,250 all in. Are you're gonna charge $1,250 plus shipping when you're selling it? you know, sometimes I might not work out. So, you know.
That was a good question, man. Thanks for asking that question. But don't have anything else. Just get out of here. Let's not go 3 hours tonight. So
Yeah. One of those, huh?
but all right. Thanks for everybody for joining us tonight, talking about customs. Appreciate it. Peace out.
Thanks for coming through, y'all. Man, I can't believe it was 2